Yo, what's going on guys, it's Rocket here, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Deadzone and sensitivity settings and how to customize them to help your game improve the most. Controller Deadzone is a really weird topic because a lot of people don't actually know what it is, so they just leave it at default, but figuring out what it can do and changing it can actually help you get better and climb the ranks. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the controller Deadzone itself. So what this means is when does the game recognize the movement in your analog stick. So the lower the number is, the more sensitive the analog stick will be in the game, and vice versa. I'm going to show a few examples of what I mean. So this is when the Deadzone is set to 0. You can see that my turns are really sharp and instant in reference to when I'm moving my analog stick. I know you guys can't see my controller, but I'm barely moving the stick left and right and the car is responding really quickly. The downfall of having a 0 Deadzone is that not everyone likes their game to be super sensitive. Think of your Deadzone like your sensitivity in an FPS. Not everyone will be on max sensitivity. Some people like it and some people don't. Now when I have it on max, I have to move my stick almost all the way to the side for the car to register the movement. You guys can test it out to see exactly what I'm talking about if this is hard to understand. Think of the Deadzone number in the settings like the percentage of how much you need to move your stick for it to register. So when it's on max, which is 0.75, you need to move your stick about 75% before the game recognizes it. This will obviously be really uncomfortable for most people, so I recommend going nothing higher than the default, but nothing lower than 0.03. I personally use 0.15, so you can maybe start off with that and adjust as you please, but overall it will be personal preference. Next up is the dodge Deadzone. Now this is basically the same thing as your regular Deadzone, except that this only counts when you're performing a flip or dodging. So what I mean is after you jump the first time, when you're about to use your flip, depending on which direction you're going to flip, this is basically how far you need to push your analog stick in that direction for you to flip that way. And if you don't meet that threshold, you're going to double jump. So once again, think of it in percentages. If you put it on the lowest number, which is 0.10, then it's basically saying you have to move the stick 10% in whatever direction to perform a flip. Having the dodge Deadzone too low will cause you to flip when you're trying to double jump, and having it too high will cause you to double jump when you're trying to flip. So keep that in mind when you're trying to find what works for you. So I decided to keep this default after I messed around with it a little bit. I just felt like this is what felt most comfortable to me, and I recommend doing the same. So steering and aerial sensitivity basically mean how much of the analog stick you need to move before it makes your car turn the most it can turn. And for aerial sense, it's how much you need to move your stick before you're rotating your car the max speed. Okay, so I know that sounds really confusing, but to make it simple, when you max out the steering sensitivity, your car will turn right or left as much as it can, even though you're barely moving the stick. And with aerial sensitivity, your car will rotate as fast as it can, even though you're barely moving the stick. Maxing these settings out will basically defeat the purpose of having an analog stick. So as far as my settings, I kept my steering sensitivity default and aerial sensitivity to 1.4, once again because that's what I felt is most comfortable. So that's all I have for the video guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Literally all of these settings are personal preference, but the point of this video was to make sure everyone who watches it understands what each of them do. And really quickly before I close the video, I want to thank you guys for all the support I've gotten over the past week, especially with my tutorial for the Musty Flick, which has 14k views at the time of this recording. And I've also gained almost double the amount of subs I gained last month, which is weird because last month I've got the most subs I've ever gotten within a 30-day period. So the fact that I doubled that number this month says a lot about how much people are liking the videos, and I'm going to try and be more consistent with the content and upload more frequently because this is my first video in 3 weeks and multiple people have messaged me saying, upload a video, where are the videos? And the fact that someone should even have to tell me that proves that I'm not doing my job good enough. So I would definitely be more consistent and try to upload 2 to 3 videos a week from here on out. So with that being said, like if you liked the video, dislike if you disliked it, comment to give me feedback on what I can do to make my videos better, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.